Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report.tv and SGTReport.com here with a very important news update. First, just a quick word about the Brave browser. Many of you already use the Brave browser, but for those that don't, here's what you need to know. It will never ever spy on you. It's 3 times faster than Google's Chrome, and it has a built-in ad blocker. It's free, it's fast, and you're gonna love it. I'll leave the link below. Give it a try. I promise you, you'll never go back to Chrome. While CBS 60 Minutes picks up tonight where Leslie Stahl's train wreck of an interview with Donald J. Trump last week left off, gaslighting Americans into swallowing the lie that there is no such thing as corruption, especially when it comes to the sanctity of our hallowed elections, Time magazine is now doing its part with this abomination, A Time to Heal. Let's not look back. Let's move forward together for a stronger America and China. Right, Joe? Actually, the cover of Time is correct from the New World Order's point of view. It just has a typo. Time to Heal. H-E-E-L. Like a dog, America. And leave it to ABC This Week's newsreader and Clinton operative George Stephanopoulos, the director of Bill Clinton's 1992 presidential campaign, who then became Clinton White House communications director, to gaslight his audience and attempt to bully the stoic, constitution-loving governor of South Dakota, Kristi Noem, who would have none of it.
This morning, COVID is rising in your state as well. Cases are up, hospitalizations are up, deaths are up. Are you prepared to work with President-elect Biden to get it under control?
Well, it is a regional increase that we're seeing. We are testing more. And frankly, George, I'm not going to take advice from Governor Cuomo. He has the second worst death rate per 100,000 people in this nation. He's at 173 deaths per 100,000 per capita. South Dakota's at 54. I appreciated that President Trump gave us the flexibility to do the right thing in our state, and will continue to do that. He let me do my job. But the other thing that I think is going on here, George, is that this is all premature. This is a premature conversation because we have not finished counting votes. There are states that have not been called. And back in 2000, Al Gore was given his day in court. We should give President Trump his day in court, let the process unfold. Because, George, we live in a republic. We are a government that gets its power from the consent of the governed. That is the people. They give their consent on Election Day. Election Day needs to be fair, honest, and transparent. And we need to be sure that we had an honest election before we decide who gets to be in the White House the next 4 years.
Governor Noem, do you have any evidence that it wasn't an honest election? You had a tweet earlier this week saying it was rigged. Do you have any evidence at all of widespread fraud? I've spoken with Republican secretaries of state in Georgia, in Arizona. I've spoken to Republican officials across the country. They have come up with zero evidence of widespread fraud.
And that is not true. That is absolutely not true. People have signed legal documents, affidavits, stating that they saw illegal activities. And that is why we need to have this conversation in court. The New York Times itself said that there were clerical errors. If you look at what happened in Michigan,
fraud, Governor, that's
that
very
we had
different.
computer glitches that changed Republican votes to Democrat votes. You look in Pennsylvania, dead people voted in Pennsylvania. So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election. But why is everybody so scared just to have a fair election and find out? We gave Al Gore 37 days to run the process before we decided who was going to be president. Why would we not afford the 70.6 million Americans that voted for President Trump the same consideration?
I just love it. George gets angry, and she says that's absolutely not true. There's evidence of fraud. Affidavits have been signed. Why is everybody so scared to have a fair election? You gotta love Kristi Noem. I wish every single Republican would speak the truth, as she just did there, to a deep state actor who was once the communications director in the Bill Clinton White House. And as if it wasn't all bad enough, there's this tweet today from President Donald J. Trump stating facts, quote, "We believe these people are thieves. The big city machines are corrupt. This was a stolen election. Best pollster in Britain wrote this morning that this clearly was a stolen election, that it's impossible to imagine that Biden outran Obama in some of these states." Under which the fascist regime led by Jack Dorsey at Twitter has pinned the following: "This claim about election fraud is disputed." Yeah, Sure it is, by the deep state actors like 60 Minutes' Leslie Stahl, This Week's George Stephanopoulos, and the entire gamut of the mainstream horror media, which is 100% complicit in the treasonous coup attempt to implant Joe Biden into the White House. And as it pertains to the left and their criminality and their complete moral bankruptcy, just a quick side note, I tweeted a reply to Amazing Polly Sunday night saying, the scariest thing about 2020? The people on the left don't even try to hide their evil intent anymore. In fact, they boast about it. To what was I referring? This post from Mark Dice featuring a communist YouTuber named Vaush. Listen.
I still think that, like, zoophile porn, like drawn stuff, it should be 100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography.
Remember when Tom DeLay warned us that these people wanted to legalize 12 perversions, including bestiality and pedophilia? He wasn't making that up. This is the way they think. But in the face of all of this epic evil, friends, there is much horrifying truth to reveal. Truth the mainstream media, Joe Biden, and the Democratic Party fear more than anything else. And that truth will be revealed. There is undeniable mathematical evidence that the election is being stolen, including statistical impossibilities in Wisconsin and Michigan, and the fact that in many key cities around the country, Biden's vote tallies violate Benford's Law, an accepted test for catching election fraud used by the State Department and forensic accountants. I will leave a link to this excellent article from the Red Elephants below. What I have shared here merely scratches the surface of the documented fraud, something George Stephanopoulos is desperate for you not to know more about. I guess George doesn't have a problem with thousands of dead people voting just as long as they voted for Joe Biden. The hopelessly, systemically criminal Democratic Party and their accomplices in the CIA horror media have been caught red-handed, and red-blooded Americans are hungry for the truth and justice. How else do you explain my video on little old BitChute titled Smoking Gun, Electronic Vote Fraud Caught Live on CNN, posted just 48 hours ago, amassing 370,000 views on a channel with only 54,000 subscribers, making it the most viewed video on BitChute? Here's a tip for the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, and the mainstream media. If you're going to plan and commit treason, you best not get caught. Thanks so much for watching, friends. For those who don't know, I lost my 2 YouTube channels that were in good standing on October 15th, so SGTReport.tv is the #1 place to get my content. I also post on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, Parler, and Minds. And for real news 24/7, you can visit us directly at my website, SGTReport.com, the antidote to corporate propaganda. God bless, friends. Bye-bye.